chat, no job, no mask, no ride, no smile, no expression. It's mask aside. I got the COVID blues and I'm blue as I can be. Well, they're taking my freedom and they're stealing our lives.
Hello, hello. This is Gerald Salenti. It's Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. And your new Trends Journal's out. Will be out soon, but it's all done, ready to go out. And there it is. Yep. Check it out. See it yourself. Vaxwitz. Inoculation, Proclamation. We're divided. Those who don't want to get the vaccination for whatever reason they don't want, and they call it conspiracy theory or you're an anti-vaxxer, and against the people that want it and think you should have it. And this is only going to get worse. I'm going to go into the Trends Journal in a minute, but there's something very important going on. Here's the headline of today's New York Times. Facing Afghan chaos, Biden defends exit. Bullshit, Biden defends exit. Another low-life piece of shit that voted to give another low-life murderous piece of shit, George W. Bush, the authority to invade Iraq, the longest war in American history. I'm mentioning this because there's a story behind it, and I'm part of that story. And it's a big story. Wall Street Journal. Chaos engulfs Afghan withdrawal. From the Cartoon News Network, top story, what the world is saying about America's exit from Afghanistan. There was a movie that was done back in 2014 for my book, What Zizzy Gave Honey Boy. In the movie, there it is. You can get it on Amazon. It's only a 15-minute movie because the woman playing my Aunt Zizzy, may both their souls rest in peace, was Doris Roberts, who played the mother in that big TV series, Everyone Loves Raymond. I got blackballed from all of the media around the world, and you could go to the Gerald Salenti site, which you're on, and look down there, and you'll see one of these clips down the bottom with about 217,000 views. And it's a short of all the shows I used to be on, from Oprah, The Today Show, good one after another. I'm with everybody. Blackballed. And this is why I was blackballed, because I'm a man. And I'm an American, a true American spirit, not like these low-life scum, these slimy bastards and bitches that send us to war based on lies, that kill millions, cost trillions, cost our soldiers our lives. They're only 20 a day plus committing suicide for the hell that these politicians send them into. I was blackballed because I was the first to say America wouldn't win the Afghan war. Here is a clip for the promo of Zizzy and Honey Boy.
All of this was brought upon us in a single day. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
We're gonna lose in Afghanistan. Tell the network guys I said that. I'm not anti-American. I love my country.
The only thing that matters at the end is how you lived your life.
Yeah, get the move. You got it, I said it. And by the way, I was going through a tough divorce at the time. It was a rough time of my life. I stood up like a man, while everybody, almost 90% of the Americans, supported a low-life piece of murderous shit like little daddy's boy, dickless prick, murderer, George W. Bush. We're going to get that guy, Osama bin Laden. We're going to bring him back, get him alive. And everybody waving flags and tying yellow ribbons around everything that would move. And I said, listen, if Alexander the Great couldn't pull it off, if into the valley of death rode the 600, the British at the top of the British Empire, as they were slaughtering millions of people all over the world with the sun never setting on their empire, if they couldn't pull it off, if the Russians couldn't pull it off, what makes you think the Americans are going to pull it off? They couldn't win Vietnam. They couldn't win the Korean War. As I said, they would have won World War II, and people hate me for saying this, without the Russians' help. So I was blackballed. I was going broke. I came back when I forecast the panic of '08, and all the media brought me back because it was about money. I did that in 2007. Took out the domain. This is from the Trends Journal. I launched Occupy Peace. I put my money in my mouth where my heart is, to stop this slaughter by these little lawless pricks who couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag that sent other people to go get killed. Could you imagine that shithead little fucking Lindsey Graham fighting man to man? Yeah, maybe bending it over and taking it up his ass. Could you imagine Mitch McConnell in a fight? Little Chucky Baller Schumer? All of them. They all voted to give George Bush the power against the Constitution of the United States, that only Congress has the right to declare war. Fuck the Constitution. We're little scumbag pricks that'll kill millions and cost you trillions. I am an American. They are not Americans. They violate the Constitution. Go to Occupy Peace. You want? Because when all else fails, they take you to war. That little fuck, that little scumbag, yeah, who brought us the Iraq War too, under the lie of weapons of mass destruction, and little Colin Powell holding up a little piece of his colon shit, saying that, oh, Saddam is proof. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, that guy. They sent us to war based on lies. Again, listen to this clip and listen to what George Bush says.
All of this was brought upon us in a single day.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
We're gonna lose in Afghanistan. Tell the network guys I said that. I'm not anti-American. I love my country.
The only thing that matters at the end is how you lived your life.
The only thing that matters is how you live your life. I have a definition of hell. Taking that last breath and knowing you weren't the person you said you were or could have been. This is from the magazine. USA Today used to run my top trends when it was a big magazine every month. 2001, Nope Won't Be Our Year, Trend Seer says, world is against us dangerous Americans. Payback's a bitch. People forget what America was doing. What Bill Clinton was doing. What George Bush Sr. was doing. Murdering people all over the world. Back in the days when newspapers were newspapers and people read them, I would often be quoted and was a regular feature. The USA Today ritual was to be the first to publish my top trends for the year ahead. On the fateful day of December 14, 2000, USA Today ran the headline, 2001 will not be our year, Trendseer says. 9 months before 9/11, I had forecast that Americans wouldn't be safe at home or abroad. That's how the dizzy story begins. George W. Bush swiftly sends the U.S. military to invade and occupy Afghanistan as the nation rallies around him. Some 90% of Americans hail to the chief, with their American flags flying everywhere and yellow ribbons tied to everything. I refused to join the masses in the march to war. I knew it would be disastrous for the nation and the world, but the mindset of the nation was in a different place. The mindset of the nation is in a different place today as it was back then, by the way. I was blackballed by the media at a time when President Bush warned anyone who would not support his war, you are with us or you're with the terrorists. Could you imagine a little fuck saying to me that face to face? I was also accused of being anti-American because I predicted the Afghan war would end in defeat. Now, 12 years later, having future, this is back in 2014, the fall edition. Now, 12 years later, having further deteriorated economically, militarily, and morally, America has gone from bad to worse. Republican or Democrat, whoever's in charge makes a little difference. America puts a dunce in the White House who launched the war on terror that killed millions and destroyed entire nations, then replaced him with a fraud, that's Barack Obama, who bombed 7 countries in 6 years and just launched Crusades 2000, quote, the war against the Islamic State. It goes on and on and on. So here we are. When all else fails, they take you to war. And this economy's failing big time. Again, nobody says that this war, where the Democrats came out, many of them are opposed to Biden pulling out the troops. I launched Occupy Peace, and I fight for freedom, peace, and justice. How could we let these lowlives do this? Not a word. I am the man that stood up against everybody and gave up a lot of money for speaking the truth. And that's what the Trends Journal is. The truth in trends. We don't get bought off. Here. Not only these are the facts. Not only the Iraq War, it's the Afghan War, the Iraq War. This was from, where is it? I got to find it here. From Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting. He went on to show how many people were blackballed from the mainstream media because they wouldn't support the Iraq War. Where is this? I got to find it. Here we go. Study found that in the 3 weeks after the start of the invasion of Iraq, the ratio of pro-war US TV guests to anti-war guests was 25-1, and that 68% of the pro-war guests were current or former government officials. That's from Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting. That bears out what I've been saying. The Trends Journal, The Truth in Trends, the new edition is out. Trends in the economic front. A lot there. Consumer sentiment tanks. Again, when all else fails, they take you to war. But going back to what I was going to say before, when Bush got elected, the dot-com bust, which we forecast in the Trends Journal in the October issue 1999 that it would fail by the second quarter of 2000, the dot-com bust happened. We were in a recession and Bush's popularity rating was in the toilet, where that piece of shit should be floating right now. When he went to war, boom, full. Everything took off. That's right, including his popularity. And he won a second term. Shows you how stupid the people are that could believe a piece of murderous crap like him. Going back to the economy, when all else fails, they take you to war. You ready? On the global economic front, guess what? The OECD parroted our trend forecast that the Delta surge will slow the global recovery. This is big. Look what's going on. Look at the freaks running the show. Over there in New Zealand, one case, no deaths. We're locking down the place. You know why? Only an 18% shock rate. Same thing in Australia. Hardly any deaths, like 56 in the whole year. But a 20% vax rate, we're locking it down. We have dictators and tyrannists running our lives and ruining them. If we don't unite for freedom, peace, and justice, it's finished. I see the future. I'm the man that calls it. I'll put my track record up against anybody's. Do I get it right all the time? I'm a human being. Take it easy. But show me what you've written. Show me your books. Show me your magazines. We could talk. Again, I said the Afghan war wouldn't be won, and everybody hated me for saying. I'm a man of truth, justice, and the American way. I am a superman for freedom, peace, and justice. I am a warrior for the Prince of Peace. It goes on. We show how the bigs are getting bigger. One after another. Trends in Technocracy by Joe Duran. You're not going to find these anywhere. Trends in cryptos. Trends in the Cold War. What's going on? The lie about herd immunity. The herd's not going to be immunized. One after another. Trends in geopolitics. Trends eye views. And of course, the motto of the magazine is think for yourself. I see where the equity markets are going in some ways, but a real pro in it, Gregory Mannarino, sees a different story in a different way. You think for yourself. You're going to want to read his market piece, The Extreme Paradox, When to Dump Stocks. And our forecast of what the markets are crashing is right there. Oh, and I'm leaving town tomorrow. I'm going to Phoenix, Arizona. I'll be speaking at the great Max Kaiser and Stacy Hurwitz's Bitcoin conference. And again, we've been on the mark with Bitcoin, where the bottom is and where we see the next explosion at. The facts are there. We're not making these up. So there you have it. This is a whole new world. And just like that slime ball piece of garbage crap, George W. Bush started the war on terror and Obama kept it going, and we lost all those freedoms. We've now lost more freedoms with the COVID war. And as I said when the COVID war began, just as they marched off to Mussolini, Heil Hitler, and saluted Stalin, the sheeple are marching off to the COVID war. Dumb enough to believe Bush's wars? Dumb enough to believe the COVID. We're going to see a refugee immigration crisis like we've never seen before. This economy is going down big time. You better prepare, prevail, and to prosper. And most importantly, we have to unite for freedom, peace, and justice. Go to occupypeace.com, occupypeace.com. Do what you can. Get this Zizzy movie. This is just part of it. We want to continue it. You go to Amazon, and you can see where it is right there, Zizzy and Honey Boy. Of course, that's me. It's a great guy playing my role. And Doris Roberts, #1 pro. And it's the truth. The truth of life, the truth in tread, is the truth of the heart, the truth of the soul. Thank you. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.